This one might be a surprise to some people, but I gotta say, and this is actually a big surprise for a lot of my personal friends and family. I'm not exactly sure why this idea popped in my head, but I wanted to do a this or that type game, basically where we just compare two different countries and which of those two would I rather travel to in 2026. ChatGPT is helping me with this very simple game, and honestly with round one, I'm already a little bit torn here. Now I know the obvious answer for every millennial and their mama out here is Japan. Everyone is going to Japan or they've been to Japan, but this is a little bit harder of a choice for me. Now, I think I will likely go to Japan in 2026 myself, but if you really ask me what country would I rather travel to next year, it's a lot harder than just that. I think I will travel to Japan because it's just going to be convenient to me with the China trip that is currently going on, which if you're interested in that, I've talked about this here on this channel, on my gaming channel, on my main channel, traveltrip.com. I think there's a link down below in the description too if you'd like to travel with me to China. That's to China though. I might make a stop in Japan just because I've never been. So it's likely that I go to Japan in 2026. But if you just ask me like what country, now I'm specifically talking right now for next year because you got to consider like the historical context of it. This might be a fun video to do and come back to, and you compare different countries you can travel to in history at different years. Man, you better have the best history brain ready, because if you travel to the wrong place in, like, let's say the year the Black Death in Europe, you probably don't want to be anywhere near the Black Death in Europe if it's like the 14th century or whatever. But anyways, maybe I'll come back and do that next time. So I picked Japan just to see if this game was actually going to work with ChatGPT, but I don't know what it would be. I think, to be quite honest, it would still be Japan, but Argentina is a big bucket list country for me. It is, yeah, I want to go to Buenos Aires one day. I probably won't go next year, but these are two countries that I really, really do want to visit. So the next place that it offered is Norway versus Morocco. Funny enough, these are two countries that I literally had on my list of when I kind of go traveling around. I went to Europe in like 2023, and these were two countries that I did not hit that I was trying to get to. I went to a lot of places in 2023. I was very fortunate to go like Spain, the UK, France, Italy. Then I went back to Spain, and then I went to like Austria and Slovakia, and you just do big European trips, right? Morocco was up there for me. This was actually like 2 weeks before Morocco got hit with that really bad earthquake, and I was in Spain for that, and I was literally considering going to Morocco like before that. That would have been really scary. But these are two countries that I are high on my list of places that I would want to visit. I'm gonna be honest, it's probably Norway, but it depends on the vibe. If I'm going with like a big group of my homies, the boys, I might choose Morocco. If I'm going solo, I'll probably pick Norway, because I don't know how I'm going to do solo in Morocco. I think that could be an interesting situation. I don't think I'm ready for that just yet. So I will pick Norway, but it would depend on the circumstance. I did like that. Round 3, South Korea or Portugal. Where would I rather visit? I think it's way likelier that I go to South Korea next year. I have to be honest, it's likelier, and I would rather visit South Korea. I'm sorry. I almost have gone to Portugal many, many times. I don't know when it's going to happen. It definitely will happen. But I just personally have a little bit more interest in visiting Seoul and maybe even Busan. My interests change from year to year. If you watch enough of these videos, enough of like, what country I'm thinking about the most. And, I have like different rankings all the time of like, oh, I like this country right now, or I like it. It depends on whatever like fascination I have, and whether it's a historical thing or a geopolitical thing. It just kind of depends on my mood. But right now I'm a little bit more into an Asia mood than Europe, I will say, because I've been very fortunate to visit a lot of European countries. I would pick South Korea for that one, at least for 2026. Yes, the Seoul street food supremacy. Ooh, I've been to Norway. No, sorry. There. I've been to Thailand. This is Iceland, Drew. I've never been to Iceland. I've been to Thailand. I've never been to Iceland. This is an interesting one because this is a country that I have actually visited. For me, guys, I'm going to be honest. I want to go back to Thailand. I really liked Thailand. No offense to Iceland. I would love to visit Iceland again one day. Or sorry, I have never visited Iceland. I would love to visit Iceland one day. You know what's weird? There was like really cheap flights for Americans, like these like budget airlines that I think went out of business. You used to be able to go to Iceland for like $200 or something crazy like that. And I think those airlines all went out of business. I don't know how cheap it is to go to Iceland right now. But I got to be honest, Iceland is not super high. I like really weird countries right now. I have a weird taste in countries that I want to visit. And I hope that you'll get to see that as we go later into this video. But Iceland is not really up there. I kind of am on this like path where I want to get off the beaten path of what a lot of people like to travel to. So I'd rather revisit Thailand than visit Iceland, I'm sorry to say, because I usually like to visit as many countries as possible. But you know what? I was just watching a video, I think it was a podcast or something like that. That's kind of a problem with modern day travel. So many influencers prioritize just going to as many countries as possible. And honestly, that's kind of gross. If you really want to think about it, it's all about, it's just all about like social media clout, and I have visited 100 countries. I have visited all this stuff, but it's gross the way we do that. I honestly think that's the way that I've been thinking that more and more in my head. I've never been exactly like that. I do want to visit as many countries as possible just because I talk about so many places. But like, it depends on what my interests are in. Like a year or two ago, I was really fascinated by Mexico, and I visited Mexico like 5 different times. Right now, I'm really fascinated by Thailand. I'd really like to go to Thailand a couple different times. I'm very fascinated I do want to go really to an African country very soon. It doesn't need to be Morocco. It can be a lot of places. But anyways, okay, this is a tough one. I'm going to make so many people mad here. This is a tough one because I don't have a whole big interest in visiting any of these places. I've already put Canada on blast. I don't really care that much about Canada. Watch me like love Canada the day I visit it. But for Canada, it's going to have to be a reason. It's going to have to be, I make my plushies back there from a Canadian company. Makeship is a Canadian company. I could see myself going to Canada if for some reason I'm going to do some sort of Makeship event for their plushies. But it's got to be something like that. It's got to be something, to draw me up there. I cannot see myself going there for leisure. I have to be honest. Greece is kind of the same thing. Maybe I could see myself doing a group trip after I do travel trip with China. I could definitely see myself plan something with Greece with people that would like to go. Or I could see myself doing a cruise with. That's the biggest thing. I feel like I don't really want to visit Greece unless it's like a cruise sort of thing, because of all the islands. Like to properly see Greece, I feel like we gotta hit the islands, and I would love to visit Turkey next to it. I should not have brought up Turkey and Greece in the same sentence. I'm sorry, that was extremely offensive. I will be picking Greece. Sorry, Canada. It's a bit more interesting and foreign to me. Obviously, Greece a lot further away. Oh, all right. Egypt or Brazil? By the way, I would love to see your comments down below. What country you would prefer to visit? You can do like a really long comment, and you could be like, boom, all the rounds that I picked, you also pick your countries for round 6, round 7, just do like semicolon what you think. Very curious to see what you guys have to say about that and your guys' opinions about these places. But especially because I'm assuming you guys are probably all big fans of travel if you watch a lot of my videos, or you're just a fan of countries as a whole. You don't got to be a big traveler. You're clearly just a very educated, world knowledgeable person. But this is a tough one. Actually, it's not that tough. I'm going to be honest. I saw a thread once of how many people regretted going to Egypt. Or sorry, not regretted. Well, yeah, regretted somewhat. But how many people have said they never want to return to Egypt after they visited once? And I can't get that out of my head. I'm sorry, Egypt. I'm sorry. But it's true. I just can't get it out of my head. And I want to go, and I probably will go. I got to see those pyramids. And I just want to see Cairo. I want to see what it's like. But I'm afraid that I'm not going to love it. However, now that I really think about that question deeply, people that go to Egypt, I think a lot of them are more than likely normie travelers. I'm sorry to say, not to disregard travel. Anyone could be whatever type. Everyone's a different type of traveler. I, for one, when I travel, I don't like to vacation. I'm not a vacation traveler. When I travel, it's gonna be dirty and sweaty and gross, and it's gonna be work. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to relax on a beach. I want to be engulfed in the culture, in the food. I really want to see the nitty gritty, and I want to get as gritty as possible. So I actually, maybe I take it back. I might actually like Egypt now that I think about it. I think a lot of normal people go to Egypt expecting something really nice, and it's not that nice. But I like that. But I have to say, I'm sorry, Egypt. It's still going to be Brazil. I was always going to pick Brazil. I really want to go to Brazil. I love Brazil. I mean, I actually don't know if I love Brazil, but I want to go to Brazil. It's just been a thing for me. But anyways, round 7. Here, how many are we going to do? Oh my goodness. Okay, this is why, we have to put the date in the title and make that an important thing. It is 2026. I hear horrible things about South Africa right now, so I am going to avoid that. If you look back at another similar video that I did on my main channel back in 2020, I ranked Australia very low on the tier list. It was actually, I think, 2021 because of their response to COVID. I hated their response to COVID. I thought it was... Now, I don't know if that was just like American news media propaganda, but they were like feeding into our brain that they were like literally putting you guys up in camps. Not like World War II style camps, but like from what I saw, like they were literally telling people they have to go live in another area just because they got COVID. And I did see some of the... I don't know how widespread that was. I guess that was a real thing, but I don't know how often they were making people do that. That was gross. That to me, I'm like, okay, Australia ranked insanely low on that list because I was like so not cool with that. But now I'm fine with Australia. But anyways, that's why you got to rank the year. That's why the year is really important. Now South Africa, I'm sorry, I hear some crazy things happening in South Africa, so I'm good. Good thing is this is very easy for me. I want to visit. I have been to Finland, but it was only the Helsinki airport, so it's big for me to revisit Finland one day. That was round 8. This is really fun. I like this. Round 8, Turkey or New Zealand? This one might be a surprise to some people, but... I gotta say, and this is actually a big surprise for a lot of my personal friends and family because I am such a big Lord of the Rings fan. I don't have a big interest in going to New Zealand right now. I'm sorry to say. It's such a long flight. You got to consider I live in LA. And I actually knew someone in my personal life that had lived in New Zealand for 8 months. She was from the U.S. Obviously, she lives in L.A., and she would tell me all about New Zealand. It's a beautiful place. She did say she got really lonely there because she didn't know anybody, obviously. But yeah, no, I don't really want to go. I don't have any interest right now in traveling to New Zealand. Not at this stage of my life. I think I will eventually. But and on the contrary, I really want to visit Turkey. I literally mentioned Turkey above with Greece. Turkey, I've heard great things. I've had multiple friends visit Turkey. I heard it's a really fun place. I heard it's really great. Istanbul, a lot of fun. Again, the grit. I like the idea of grit. I want the grittiness of Turkey. So I will definitely, and hey, I'll be on the first flight to Turkey. The moment I go bald, that's the first place I'm going. I'm getting that hair transplant. So actually, it's going to be Turkey. Round 9, Vietnam or Spain? That's a fun one because I'm on record for saying Spain is my favorite European country, but right now I've been in love with looking up Vietnam. All the expats moving to Vietnam, I gotta admit that has been highly interesting me. I've been highly interested in that. I literally just mentioned before I want to go back to Thailand, but I want to hit the whole region. I'm really liking Vietnam, the Philippines right now. So I will be honest, for next year, it would easily be Vietnam. I've already seen a lot of Spain. I'm so fortunate. I saw Madrid and Valencia and Barcelona and Sevilla. I think Sevilla was actually my favorite city. But right now in my life, I'm actually going to pick Vietnam. It's so cheap. I want to see how nice this Da Nang city is because you cannot escape it. Americans and other Europeans talking about how amazing it is and obviously affordable, and you're living on a beach and things like that. So yeah, that's an easy one, actually, which I wouldn't have made the same pick just a year ago. Maybe even just 8 months ago, I wouldn't have made the same pick. That is an interest. These are two countries I have visited at the same time. So what country would I rather revisit? It is not that hard of a choice for me, and it's entirely a financial one. I've been having a lot of the finances kind of come into my picks here. The one previously and this one too. It's definitely going to be Mexico because Switzerland is expensive as hell. That's always my number one gripe with Switzerland. It's a nice place. It's a very, very nice place. Lovely. I'm not a big skier though, But I recently actually did get someone asked me if I'd be interested in going back to Switzerland. They wanted to do like a hike, and I'm like, I don't really want to go. I'm good. And you know what? Another thing is I did get to see a lot of Switzerland from Geneva to Zurich to I think Bern too. I mean, I saw a lot of Switzerland. I know this sounds crazy. I'm sure a lot of people would rather visit Switzerland than Mexico, but I'm a weird traveler. That's why you got to comment down below what you would rather go to. But I love Mexico. I really want to go to Monterrey. And maybe it's possible. Here's the plan was to always go to Mexico for the World Cup because there's 3 host cities that Mexico has: Mexico City, Monterrey, and what is the other one? Guadalajara is the other one. I actually don't know, but I seriously considered going to Monterrey for the World Cup, for one of the World Cup games. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that was the plan about a year ago. Sweden versus Peru. Wow. I wasn't sure what form of Peru that was because that coat of arms was a very, very unique. Now, Sweden was the first country I ever visited outside of the U.S., but that was in 2017 due to a Paradox event. So I've been meaning to go back to Sweden for a long time because it's going to be like, I probably won't return to Sweden for like 10 years. So, of course, I'm going to have to go back. I love Latin America. I love Argentina. I like Brazil. Peru seems like a safe. It really depends on the situation I'm in. If I'm in a situation where like if I'm in like a mixed gender sort of group, I would feel very, very safe going to Peru. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta understand the situation that you're in. And if I'm going to other parts of Latin America, like Mexico, I'm gonna want that with like the boys, for instance, just in case we get into ourselves a little dicey situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be completely honest. If I'm with a couple of girls, couple of boys, I don't know how safe I'm going to, as someone who's visited Mexico, all over Mexico, 5 different times, I'd be a little bit worried taking some of my friends that are girls there. However, if we want to go to Latin America, Peru's the number one choice, I think. Uruguay apparently is very safe. Chile is very safe, but Peru would be a great one. It just depends on the circumstances for me. But this is kind of hard. I actually don't know. I don't particularly, neither one really calls to me right now, but I think I would probably pick Peru. I was going to say Sweden, but I think I'd probably pick Peru, even if it was just solo. Machu Picchu, yeah, Machu Picchu, I'd like to see that. Oh, man. Okay, that's actually an easy one. I'm just going to go ahead and pick Singapore right now. Not that I don't want to visit Saudi Arabia. I'm down, but I just talked about my obsession with Southeast Asia right now, and that is on the list. Not only Thailand and Vietnam and Cambodia and Philippines, but yeah, I forgot about Singapore. That's a big one. That's a very easy one. Ooh, Kenya versus Italy. Okay, complete shocker here. I think I'm going to go to 15 rounds or maybe 20. I don't know. Depends on how much faster we can get through these. I'm actually picking Kenya. I'm not even going to lie. I literally said I want to visit an African country, and I don't necessarily really want it to be Egypt, Morocco, or South Africa. I mean, I already said I'm not really down for South Africa right now, considering the situations. Kenya, I am so down for. I'm really down for Kenya. I don't know. Yeah, Italy, I've had very, very bad experiences with Italy. I might go to Italy in 2026, but I've had some bad experiences. Here we go. Oh, this is also going to be an easy one for me. I'd rather visit the Philippines. I've already been to Austria, and I loved Vienna, but I don't necessarily have an interest in going back. So I want newer experiences rather. Qatar versus Ireland. Oh, why are they not generating the orange? Oh, okay. I'm going to pick Qatar. Not going to lie. I'm actually going to pick Qatar. I already visited Ireland. It was nice, but I think my family is going to Ireland next year, and they invited me, and I'm like, I think I'm okay. I think I'm going to pass on that. Qatar, I don't really necessarily want to go to Qatar that bad, but I don't really want to go back to, this is hard. Chile or India? I guess we'll go to 20 rounds. I think I'm actually going to pick, that's really difficult. I will visit India as a bucket list place, but I'm not sure I'm ready for that right now in my life. I'm not sure I'm ready for India in my life at the moment. I will visit. I got to be in a certain mindset, and I'm afraid that I won't ever get into that mindset, but I know the place that I'll be in my mind when I'm ready to visit India, and I don't know if that's going to be anytime soon. So it will happen. India is very exciting to me. It excites me slightly more than Chile, sorry to say, but I don't know if I'm ready for India. I gotta be ready for that because that's gonna completely change. That's gonna rock my world. I can already tell. You know what? I'd rather visit Serbia than the UAE. I do want to see what they got going on. I want to see what Serbia's got. We're gonna go to 8. Wow, that's interesting. They generated this. Okay, we have a repeat: Morocco or Australia. I'm actually gonna pick Australia, even though I bashed on Australia earlier, but we don't have to worry about the pandemic anymore. So out of these two, I think I'm in a place where I'd rather visit Australia. A little bit harder to get a visa there, I heard, but that's an easy one. I'm good. I've been to the UK multiple times. I'm good now. I would like to go to Malaysia. Malaysia would be very nice. Elite food. Round 20, last one. Ethiopia or Croatia? Whoa, that's a cool. I'm down for both. I do want to visit Ethiopia. I'm down for Ethiopia. I'm not sure I'm ready for that yet. That would be a really hard one, actually. I think I'm gonna pick Croatia. But the only part about Croatia that I don't really like, it's very popular and it's kind of like the normie traveler decision to make. I'm sorry to say. So I like to get off the beaten path. It's hard for me to go to Croatia. Like, I feel like when I go to Croatia, it's gonna be because I'm already over there. I can't see myself specifically going to Europe just for Croatia. I'll go for like Poland and then make my way down to Croatia maybe. But yeah, I think I'm going to pick Croatia. Anyways, I'm going to stop it right there. Oh, man. Oh, that's actually... Wait. Okay, last one. Hungary versus Taiwan. I actually don't know. This is the first... I'm going to actually leave it because this is perfect. I actually could not guess. I couldn't tell you what I'd rather visit right now. I would like to visit both. Budapest or Taipei. I would really, really like to visit both. I can't pick. I'm going to leave it off right there as 50-50, but let me know down below what all your answers were, and check out the makeshift plushies if you'd like. And like I said, I got a trip to China. You can travel with me on Travel Trip. The link will be down below to that. We will be going to China in April of 2026, so I will finally get to investigate the second most populated country in the world. Very, very excited for that. Like I said, I don't feel like I truly know a place until I visit it and literally go ground level and just intake as much. I literally like to be a sponge when I'm visiting these places because I know how much I'm going to go back on this information when I'm making these videos and talking about it with you guys on YouTube. I know how much I rely on my own experiences in these places, so it's very important to me. So if you want to join me, the link down below to that is right there in the description. And here's a big thank you to this month's patrons. Can white people smell the rain? It's pronounced Tour de Sillas, Drew. DruuuWu Labubu. Conquered Bread. White Grape of the Pirates. Never change, Drew. Unless you want to. LuxembourgLover. Fredrik Tibblin. Pavlik. KingBearHaze. NordTyrol. LoreTrack. Name here. Nolan. Check the Patreon link down below in the description.